yathaivādarśamadhyasthe rūpe'ntaḥ paritastu tathaivā'smiñcharīre'ntaḥ paritaḥ parameśvaraḥ. Just as a mirror exists everywhere, both within and apart from its reflected images, so the Supreme Lord exists everywhere, within and apart from this physical existence. The essence of this verse takes him back to the Samarpan days when he explained on the Seva aspect in a bhajan with Swami's quote, "Love all, serve all." The essence is in the first part explained by him, which went for 2-3 weeks, Tuesdays in those times. The love all part. In that talk, it was explained, after worshipping God for a long time, the devotee starts finding the Lord within him. This verse starts with the second stage of finding the Lord within. Thereafter, when the devotee discovers God within him wholly as love, then the same love is found to have expanded and enveloped, pervaded the entire world, which is love all. Relating the same to this verse, here Ashtavakra instructs the meditator to focus inward intensely in order to curb initially and then rise above what? Curb initially and rise above all the mental fluctuations, all the thought disturbance. This is the Jagat Mithya part, already given to you in a separate pour. One has to necessarily withdraw from the world and dive deep within to discover the self within. When one discovers the self within one day, in one birth, then what happens? He then discovers, experiences that it is the same self which pervades the entire creation, and therefore there is neither a need to reject the creation, to avoid the creation and to get inward, which the sadhaka started the journey with, nor the need to accept the creation with its all objective offering. This is the Jivo Brahmaivana Para part of a previous pour. Earlier, since the mind was drawn to various objects in the world and was slave to one's likes and dislikes due to the stored impressions of many births, there was a critical, urgent need to draw the mind away from all the objects in the world, purify the mind with service and devotion, and then move on, evolve to engage in sincere meditation. Once the purpose of meditation is fulfilled and one discovers himself to be God or self and not his mere body and senses, then when he opens his eyes and walks in the creation, his heart filled with abundance of self, Anantam self, he can experience nothing other than the self wherever he goes, whatever he sees, whatever he hears, whatever he talks. Ashtavakra brings in an analogy of mirror to explain this. All the objects are reflected in a mirror when the objects face the mirror or in front of the mirror. The objects require mirror to reflect themselves, whereas the mirror is complete in itself even when there are no objects getting reflected in the mirror. It is complete in itself, within itself, or with the reflection of objects in it without. It is complete thus, within and without. The reflected objects can never disturb the reflecting medium, the mirror. Similarly, once the meditator goes within and the discovery of self within is wholesome, complete, Purnam, then he is not only complete within, but even complete without, even complete while in the creation, while living in the creation, day in and day out. As alone, he is complete like the mirror with no objects reflected in it. And in creation also he is complete like the mirror when the creation reflect themselves in him, appear before him. Exactly like the mirror which is complete even when the objects are reflected in on it. The moods and the fancies and the vasanas of the objects reflected in the mirror have no impact whatsoever in the mirror. Similarly, when we say without, it means even when the world of vasanas attack the one who has discovered, who has seen the self within, even without means outside, even when the whole world of vasanas with all its pulls and pushes come to attack him, there also, like the vasanas of the reflecting objects, reflected beings can have no impact on the mirror. Similarly, outside the world, outside the creation, can have no impact whatsoever in the state of self which he has discovered himself within. As long as the seeker meditates on self, he can at best hope to experience only a ray, only a glimpse of that self for a few seconds. Let us compare these glimpses with the space within a pot. When he has realized the self, then not only within, but even in the entire creation, he experiences the same self, which is comparable to the space outside when the pot is broken, and the inner space, outer space, there is no difference. It is just the space, pure space. There is an expression parameśvaraḥ in this Ashtavakra Gita. We have to see if any reference of this parameśvaraḥ ever gets repeated in Ashtavakra Gita in the coming 19 chapters or not. Here, in that flow, this parameśvaraḥ expression emerges from Ashtavakra, which Chinmaya explains that Ashtavakra means and confirms that the all-pervading existence is the same whether you refer that all-pervading space as we referred just now when the pot is broken, whether you refer it as paripurna paramatman parabrahman or prasiddha parameśvara, whether you refer as parabrahman or parameśvara, Ashtavakra says it is the same. The expression is different in the language, whereas the essence of Parabrahman and Parameshvara is the same. That is what Ashtavakra means here when he refers the last line, Parameshvara. Hari Om Tat Sat.